what would be the scariest thing you can think of? Like, the single scariest thing. I'll leave you 5 seconds for you to figure that out, and then I'm gonna raise an uncontestable counterpoint. Figured it out? Well, unfortunately, whatever answer you may have chosen would never be as scary as the name League of Legends. So it's again Halloween, and this time, things will be quite different from your usual Halloween shenanigans. Today, I'm gonna tell you a tale of a silly little experiment I did that went horribly wrong. A friend recommended me this weird MOBA game called League of Legends. Now, I've obviously heard of it before. It has always been one of the biggest and most mainstream esports out there. And I've always been at least a little bit curious. I never acted upon the curiosity though, because MOBAs just have never been my thing. I like strategy games to a certain extent, but MOBAs are known to be very complex. And I didn't want to go through the effort of learning any of that nerdy crap. But after hearing about it in school and then being convinced to install it by the same friend, I wanted to give it a shot. And obviously it was a game that he liked a lot, so why not? My memories of these first few moments of the game aren't the clearest though. I remember that he told me to pick any champion that I thought looked cool after I got past the tutorial, so he could put me in a training match. We played a few training matches so I could at least get a grasp on how the game plays before even trying to play against bots. He taught me the basics, which then I forgot, but let's ignore that, and taught me what I should do with the champions I picked. I wasn't really attached to any characters, none of them seemed interesting to me. Even my friend's best attempts at explaining the game naturally went over my head at the time. I was getting a bit confused at how some champions could just stun you for long periods of time and how some of them would be massively broken by the late game. The balancing wasn't my cup of tea. It probably still isn't, to be honest. At the time, I already had been a JoJo fan for quite a while, almost 2 years give or take. Yeah, this is another story of me trying to connect something with JoJo. I know, I don't care. I was getting my friend into JoJo too, which he enjoyed. I even had an idea. I went and asked him, hey, are there any champions that kind of play like a JoJo character? Like, does anyone have a stand-like power? Or I don't know, maybe there's just someone that punches people really hard. And well, the first instinct he had was to tell me to pick Hooter. And oh boy, I did. That was what many people would say is my first main. I agree, although honestly at the time he really was just the only character I liked at all. His stupid gimmick was actually really powerful, even if I didn't know that you should keep shuffling his skills to stack his passive buff. He moved around pretty fast, wasn't a tank per se, but also wasn't built like a stick figure, and did tons of damage. All of that by just punching people really hard, with some elemental effects, I guess. That was my dude. I played with him for a while. I didn't get a good grasp on the concept of lanes, what characters worked for each lane, so I just usually played with him on the top lane. Now that actually works out pretty fine too, but I was obviously bad at the game. I had a little bit of fun, but then I just sort of stopped. I didn't really want to keep going. I don't exactly remember why. We only played for a few days at most, but I guess I felt burned out. Although I started to have fun, I still had no idea what was going on. And honestly, I didn't want to open that can of worms. I just dropped the game, and I never really looked back. The impression I had of the game was that it was a strange and complex game, like I expected, with some shoddy balancing and a few good characters, with me only liking a single one, which kinda sucks for a game with a roster this huge. I might have had a bit of fun, but I'd be lying if I said the game didn't leave a bad taste in my mouth. Nevertheless, I went on to just forget about it. Yeah, by this point, all my friends got into the game. It started with just a couple of them getting into it because one other friend already played the game and recommended it to them, and then they passed it around. The whole thing just ended up blowing up. Almost my entire friend group was obsessed. I'm talking non-stop 24/7 league actions. The VCs were completely filled to the brim. You would never be safe. Yeah, it is a kind of immature outlook to have, but I kind of started hating the game. It went from a game I didn't enjoy to a game I still didn't enjoy, but no one wanted to shut the fuck up about it, so it did get into my nerves a little bit. I just cringed at the thought of even touching this game again, and I would go on to refuse to ever play it. The only other person that was with me was this guy.
Hello, my name's...
I would just keep resisting any temptations to ever play this godforsaken game, although that never stopped me from joining the voice chats. It would still be annoying at times, and I'd just be left alone, being one of the only people in the entire friend group that didn't want to join in. But I pushed through, my resolve unbroken, and my honor intact. We were already a fair ways into 2020 at this point. Everyone was home because of COVID. Not only worsened the situation, it was also around this point where things began to shift a bit. Almost all of them were starting to change in a way. Naturally, after being left out of the loop more often than not, I started being a little more observative. I mean, all I could do during these moments where everyone was just playing League was either watch them or not. And well, I observed that everyone was starting to get fucking salty. Seemed like there was a huge split in intent, as some of my friends were more competitive, some were more relaxed, some were more prone to getting tilted, yada yada, you get the idea. You know, that's all just normal. But somehow shit just started going haywire. This was the beginning of what I decided to call the League of Legends effect. The League of Legends effect is a cycle, and the effect is way more prone to happening with friends to play with, because usually at least one of them is going to get the other to play. It starts with them getting into the game, and going through the normal process of learning the basics. All is well, and the whole group is having fun with the experience. And then there's the next step of the cycle, which would be the start of an addiction. All of them are already pretty comfortable with the game and can start fitting into their own niches and stuff. Then, at least one person in the group will want to play the game more aggressively, and won't stop complaining to everyone about how bad they all are. At this point, every match will be a never-ending cycle of the mad person getting mad with someone in the team, which would turn into a fight, which would be calmed down by either someone that's actually a chill dude, or a fucking drug enabler. And the next step is where shit goes down. At this point, at least one of them will drop the game for good. And that throws everyone off. The group starts to notice that there was indeed something wrong. Not even the most chilled out person would be able to ignore this. And gradually everyone will start quitting the game. Usually there will be at least one fucko openly begging for people to come back. The group will slowly dissipate, and only a few of them will still play with each other. Maybe some of them will keep playing alone, especially if that someone is someone that plays the game more competitively, also known as being clinically insane. Everyone will just forget about the game for a bit. That's the easiest part of the cycle to break. If everyone manages to hold this last step, the cycle won't repeat again. But, you know, more often than not, something supernatural will just bring everyone back together, and the whole cycle is going to repeat all over again. Now, what am I even trying to get at with this whole thing? Oh, let me show you. I watched the League of Legends effect happen in its entirety many times by this point, but I just needed to know a bit more. I needed to know what made the game so addicting. I just needed to experience it all. I wanted to feel the effect by myself. I swear it was just for research. So I downloaded League of Legends again. Well, shit. Truth be told, there's a lot to like about this game. After playing it for a bit, it really is easy to just not stop. There's just something about it. This game is so flawed, and it's so easy to be regarded as bad. It's littered with bad design decisions, but I can't stop myself. What is this? I started playing with Udyr again for a bit, but quickly my friends recommended to me a champion that I might like. He's a support champion, which is fine by me. I don't mind playing that role at all. He looks stupid, acts stupid, and plays pretty stupid. And he quickly became my favorite character. My actual main. Alright, okay, there. Wait, no, stop! I need to concentrate. I'm supposed to tell you the secret of breaking the cycle and how the game isn't even that good to begin with. I mean, it's not even that hard to do that. With the countless stun mechanics that sometimes last over 5 whole seconds, the broken characters, the roster of over 150 characters, which causes the game to have a serious lack of direction, and a big problem with ignoring champions, the dog shit champion banning system, and all of that, without even mentioning the shitfest that is this game's distinct lack of action towards simple things like smurfing or toxicity in general. But I still kinda wanna play the game. It's weird. I should be able to keep these sensations in check, but I just really have a big desire to play this damn game. Seriously, I can't just keep opening it up. Please, I'm running out of time to even finish this very video. Stop!